Foxes kill over 1 Americans every year.
Foxes kill moms, okay? This is a PSA. Avoid cube-shaped objects at all costs.
Okay, listen. People did fucked up things back in the day. I didn't mean like a box. I just meant like maybe she was buried alive. Maybe she was in ancient Egypt and they put her in a box and they buried her alive.
They're like fuck the sarcophagus. We need to just put her in a cube-shaped box.
Put her in a box.
Put her in a box.
Put her in like a Pop-Tart box.
That's a possibility. Hey guys, welcome to Sippin Cosmos. Today, we're going to talk about dreams. Why? Because we all do it, but we don't really talk about it. I mean, some people do, but most times you don't really want to hear someone's story about their dream.
I never want to hear about people's dreams.
But we all love telling people about it.
I love telling other people about my dreams, but I don't love hearing about others.
I like crushing people's dreams.
That's a fun pastime.
Yeah, always fun.
Well, it's weird because, so we all dream. We can all have really vivid dreams, and some of us are more active in our dreams than others. Like Layne is very active in his sleep.
We're going to get right into this.
Yeah, we're going to get right into it. Why not?
Dive right in, baby.
Okay.
Layne is a talker. He moves. He wakes up. He sometimes, thinks he's choking. So this is a whole other, there's people that, study dreams. Like, they study sleep.
Yep.
And dreams are a big part of that, I think, because it's a whole level of sleep.
Dimension.
Facet, if you will.
Yeah. And I think there's only certain levels of sleep, like REM or something, where you can be active like that. And other times, you can't.
I think there are certain types of dreams that you can have at different levels. For instance, if I'm in a really deep sleep, I can be having a really vivid dream where I'm fully there and it feels fully real because I'm fully in that dimension, for lack of a better word. Or, I guess, what would the word be? Conscious? In that state of consciousness.
Lucid.
Yeah, but then if I'm kind of half asleep, I could be having a dream where I know I'm asleep in bed, but I'm half in the dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's more rare. I think the average person goes to sleep, they have dreams, they don't even know, they wake up, they go about their lives, and they don't even really evaluate their dreams or are conscious of it. It sounds like you're conscious of your dreams.
Well, sometimes you've never been half asleep and you hear people having a conversation in the next room and you're half asleep, you know that they're talking and you know that you're asleep in your bed, but at the same time their conversation is kind of influencing your dream a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm a more deep sleeper. I have a hard time falling asleep, but once I'm asleep, I'm
yeah, that's how I used to be.
Yeah, you're out cold.
Yeah, and I don't want to wake up.
She cannot be bothered. We're actually opposite sleepers.
Yeah, he likes to fall asleep early.
I'm not even really asleep, ever.
Ashley and Layne are a couple.
Really? Yeah. If you haven't gathered that, no, I just watch him while he's sleeping.
We study each other's sleep patterns, okay? We've been doing this for years, for studies.
But I do think it's interesting that people have a lot of different kind of sleep patterns. Yours are very interesting.
Yeah, well, weren't you going to start writing down the things that I would blurt out in the middle of the night?
I actually do have a note section in my phone of things that you've said.
Do you actually?
Yes.
So I have actually no idea what I say in the middle of the night.
You said something about basketball one time.
Oh,
and
actually,
you were
yeah. That was the one time where I believe that it actually had something to do with my day, the previous day. I think one of the women's basketball teams, I saw they won a game by 80 points, and my mind was blown about this. I was like, how do you win a basketball game?
Wait, I remember
by 80
this.
points?
I was here for this.
You were there, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I fell asleep.
I was there when you told me when you were awake that they had won.
Yeah,
and you were freaking out. And I was there when you fell asleep and you started speaking.
I couldn't believe they won by 80 points. And it shook me to my core. Yeah. And I guess I fell asleep, and the girls over here were, carrying on with their night, disrupting my sleep.
Sarah and I live together, if you haven't gathered that as well. So Sarah is my roommate, Layne is my boyfriend. We're all roommates, essentially.
So I guess I woke up in the middle of the night sleepwalking, or sleep talking and said something about this team winning by 80 points.
No, you said something like, he won. And Ashley was like, because Ashley noticed that you were speaking in your sleep and then wanted to capitalize on the moment to get you to say more. And Ashley was like, who won? And you went, the better one.
Yes, the better team won. So that was the correct answer. It was a little snarky, but
I'll talk back to you a lot of the time, and then you realize after a while, like you can have a whole conversation with me, and then after a while you like realize that you're sleep talking. I think you start to wake up a little bit, and you're like you laugh at yourself a little bit, and then go back to bed.
That's true.
It's interesting though. I mean, and I'm reading a book by Brian Weiss, and he's talking about the subconscious being a really powerful tool, and he does say that like the state between sleep and dreaming is like where you can access your subconscious.
So is he saying that like if you have a dream, you can read into that dream things about a past life or about your subconscious, or both?
I mean, it could be both. I mean, he said that like some past life memories, if they're real, can come through dreams. But I think that a lot of it is your subconscious, whether that's your current life or, another, or just, a collective consciousness.
We were talking about how I sometimes feel like I'm choking in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Is one of your theories that this could be a product of one of my past lives?
I mean, potentially. I think Brian Weiss wouldn't say like definitely, but he would say that's something to explore.
Are you choking or you just can't breathe?
I'll wake up and it depends, but sometimes it feels like there is something in my throat and
really?
I'm just unable to breathe and I'm gasping for air, legitimately gasping for air.
That happens to me too.
Really?
I'm not choking, but the first time it ever happened to me was when I got my wisdom teeth out. I was like 19, 20 years old. And I was just in like a really deep sleep from like the painkillers. And I woke up in the middle. I was having a dream that I was underwater. I was swimming underwater. And then all of a sudden I just couldn't breathe because I was underwater for so long. And then I woke up and I could look around the room and I was, I guess, awake, but still part of me was asleep and I couldn't move my body. I was having sleep paralysis, but I also could not breathe.
Very frightening.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever had sleep paralysis, and since then it's like been a thing, but I couldn't breathe, and that's what always happens to me is that I cannot take a breath. And then all of a sudden finally I snap out of it, I guess when I'm like truly like need to breathe. Finally it happens, the body will wake itself up, and then I'm gasping for air.
That
basically
is really scary.
Your body is, or your brain is awake before your body is, or something like that?
Yes. It's
So
your body gets confused.
Your body doesn't know what to do, and then it catches up. Your brain finally connects to the body.
Yes, because they say that when you're asleep, your body does this thing, your brain will communicate to your body, okay, she's asleep, she's dreaming right now, she's going to dream that she's out doing all these things, but she can't actually do them because if she thinks she's out running, she's going to start running right now in the bed. So the brain will tell the body, you're asleep right now, so don't move. So it paralyzes itself. And that's how it happens. Part of your brain wakes up, but it doesn't tell the rest of your body to wake up, and then you get paralyzed. And it's the reverse thing when you start sleepwalking.
Yep.
Because
that's true.
That part of your brain that's supposed to be paralyzed when you're dreaming,
cognizant,
isn't, and starts doing the things that you're doing in your dream.
Wow.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, sleep paralysis is a whole other thing. That time you had sleep paralysis, did you see a figure in your room or anything weird like that?
I've had like night terrors and sleep paralysis where I felt something, like standing over me, a presence for sure, but I've never actually seen anything.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but I feel terrified.
Well, there are other times where instead of gasping for air, I'm more literally choking and just like trying to cough something up. And I feel like I'm either swallowing an insect or there's something, or I'm choking on something that I ate, because I guess I have some deep fear of choking.
Yeah.
I think it's one of my biggest fears is choking to death.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, it sounds like with your dream, that was a kind of an isolated incident that you happened to be dreaming that you were underwater. And I'm not, like, I don't know if that's necessarily connected to a memory or something that happened to you in a past life, let's say, per se, if you're going to believe that. But with Layne, he has it's a recurring thing. It's almost every night he chokes. And one time,
every night?
Yeah.
I don't remember it most of the time, but there are really aggressive choking episodes
Have you ever, like, has
I just
anyone
leap out of bed.
it for you?
No.
I mean, usually I have to calm you down a lot of the time. I'll be like, Layne, like, you're okay, you're not choking. And you'll be really insistent, like, no, I'm choking. Like, you think you're, like, dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one time you said, I swallowed a spider. I think you thought you swallowed
Well, I was
a spider.
actually, my friend Tyler and I went to Sweden and Germany a few years ago. And he remembers the story. He thinks it's hilarious. It honestly was hilarious, but no, I didn't swallow a spider, but I had another one of these episodes where we were in one of those really, really small European hotel rooms, like, that are closet size.
Yeah.
With, like, the bunk beds.
Right.
Super claustrophobic, and I was, like, out of it, but I woke up and launched out of bed, and I was like, I swallowed the wrong pill. I was telling my friend Tyler that I swallowed the wrong pill. Like, I swallowed the red pill instead of the blue pill or something. And I was insistent that I had to go down to the lobby and talk to the receptionist.
And you were fully asleep. You were asleep?
At the moment, I was asleep, and I was saying that. And then I woke up, and I came to. I was like, oh, I'm not going to go talk to the lobby receptionist about this issue.
Oh, my God.
This isn't even a real issue.
I want to speak to the manager.
I'm sorry, I'm
Can
laughing.
Can I speak with your manager? You gave me the wrong pill, and it's gonna kill me.
This is the kind of stuff that happens at the Hotel Cecil.
Yeah.
That's another episode as well. But
Agreed.
Hotel Cecil. Have you guys watched it on Netflix?
I was shook when it came out because I have had an experience there, but that'll be another episode.
I have had experiences. I don't think this was a sleep paralysis instance, but I've had, like, positive experiences with this stuff where I told you about this, Ashley, where I was asleep in my parents' guest room in our house, which is downstairs in our house off of our kitchen. And it was really early one morning, and I was still asleep, but I heard my parents in the kitchen, like, getting up and starting their day and having a conversation. And this was a couple months after my grandmother had passed away. And all of a sudden, it's the same thing as the sleep paralysis, where I'm half awake, half asleep, and however, I could see myself in the bed, and I was also in the kitchen watching my parents have this conversation. And on top of it, my grandmother was standing there with me, and it's like the two of us were watching my parents have this conversation. And she was just, like, truly, it felt so much like she was there. And then I woke up a few minutes later, and I was like, oh, like, where'd she go? She was just here. But it really was, like, this crazy out-of-body experience where I've never seen a ghost or anything like that, but it truly just felt like my grandmother was just here. No, like, I know she's here. It was crazy.
Well, that's beautiful, honestly.
It was really nice.
You get that extra moment with the loved one that you just never could get.
And I was telling my parents about it, and they were looking at me like
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. You had an out-of-body experience while you were dreaming.
Yeah, like, I could see myself asleep in the bed. Like, I was like, oh, there's my body, I'm asleep, but okay, I'm gonna walk into the kitchen, and I'm just watching Mom and Dad have this conversation, and, like, Grandma and I are just staring at each other while Mom and Dad are talking right now.
So that for me right there is, like, potentially proof that when we're dreaming, we can enter another, like, kind of dimension consciously. Like, our consciousness can travel, like, our body is here in bed, but our consciousness, whatever that is, that, you know, it's not just your brain, it's that extra, I call it spirit, or whatever is, you know, makes you. It's it's traveling to another dimension. And I don't think everyone can do that. I don't think that happens every time you dream, but it's interesting that that you not only saw your grandmother who's dead, but you also felt like you were in two places at once.
Yeah.
And you're like a completely sane person, right?
I'm pretty sane.
Has that ever happened after that, or that was the only time?
Not like that, no. I've had dreams where I've seen her and I've tried to talk to her, but I was never like awake. It was because it was an awake dream. I felt like I was awake. It's just my body was asleep, if that makes sense.
There's people, yeah, that makes sense. There's people that think that they can receive messages from loved ones that have passed, other beings.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get her to speak, and she wouldn't say anything. And in other dreams, I've seen her, and I'm trying to get her to say something, and she never says anything. She's always just like standing there.
Yeah. I've never thought that I have received a message or something profound in a dream, but Nicole, my best friend's mom, she claims that she's had many dreams that are premonitions almost, that and then they come true. I think she had a dream that her grandson was going to be a boy, and then he was, or someone
50-50 chance.
Someone
the odds were good.
But I think someone came down and told her it's going to be a boy. Blah,
Wait,
blah, blah.
Told Nicole?
Nicole's mom. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it was the sex of the baby. I have to go back and ask her, but something about she received a message in a dream and it came true, and it happened a few times. And I think
she's undefeated in baby sex predictions.
I mean, that's a common thing that I've heard of a lot of people. My mom had a feeling it was going to be that. I had a feeling. I had a dream. I had a dream that this happened, and then it happened. Have you not heard that a lot?
With sex of baby?
I've heard it.
Sex of a baby is a big one, obviously.
Yeah.
But other things too.
My mom could swear up and down that I was going to be a boy, and then I turned out to be a girl.
Well.
So I feel
Did she have dreams about it or anything?
I never asked. Maybe. But I feel like with sex of a baby, like Layne said, it's a 50-50 chance, and it's you just have a feeling, but you can have a feeling about anything and it doesn't come true.
Right.
She can also just be saying that too. That's also a possibility. She could have been
why?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Why?
Look at me, I knew.
For the clout.
I knew, for the clout. For the grandma clout.
For the grandma clout.
Grandma called
You know grandmas love clout. They low-key love the clout.
Moms love clout too. I told you.
A lot of people like clout.
They do. Moms love
I told you is the original clout. I told you so. Moms
love to be told that they are right, and they need it to be said out loud in front of people, like an announcement. My mom was right.
Yeah.
She was right. Yeah, I saw on Shark Tank, I forget what the invention was, but the girl was saying the invention came to her in her dream. And she got $100,000 for the...
She did?
Yeah, she got a deal.
Oh, wow. I never had a dream that made me money. That sounds
100K
nice.
Dream.
Sounds really nice.
Pretty good.
I've had dreams where I eat a combination of foods that sounds ridiculous in real life, but in the dream it sounds really good to me.
That's
and
so
then
weird.
I wake up and at first I'm I should try that, and then after a couple minutes of being awake I'm
Do you have an example?
Insane. You know what else happens? I have it with jokes. I have jokes that come to me in dreams all the time, and I say to myself in the dream, I need to remember that when I wake up, because that's a really great joke. I gotta write it down and put it in my set. And
do you ever do that?
Well, then I wake up, and for the first few minutes I'm yeah, let me write that down. And then after being awake for 10 minutes, I'm that's horrible. That doesn't even make sense. It literally doesn't even make sense. It's nothing.
Well, for me, it's or are you remembering it wrong? Because for me,
no, I definitely remember it.
I wake up and I'm oh, okay, this is really important. I'm going to write this down. And then I'm oh, it's so important, I'm going to remember. I'm affected. I feel weird about what I just dreamed. Whatever I thought was, super important waking up. And then, 10 minutes later, 15, I've totally forgot what it was. It's just, it never even happened.
I've done that, too, sometimes. It's just, leaves, thin air. And it's wait,
Fleeting.
I just had it.
But so that's the thing that Brian Weiss is saying. I hate to bring it back to, he's saying like, we can access those memories. Like they're there. Where did it go? It happened. You remembered it at one point.
Right.
It's there. You just can't access it with your conscious
But aren't there
mind.
a lot of memories that you do not want to access?
I'm sure there are some traumatic memories and negative things, but working through them can actually help you. Like
That's true.
with his patients, when they remember a traumatic thing and they like honor it and just like work through it, it alleviates it. They get better.
Right.
I don't know
that
what
makes
it
sense.
is.
It makes sense to work through your traumas, that's for sure.
I think that in a past life you choked dying.
It's very possible, but I also, like I was saying...
I'm just going to say, I know
listen,
it's...
You
also
also
putting
think your
it out
mom
there.
died in a box.
All right, I was kidding.
Listen.
She is claustrophobic and really scared of heights, though, and I'm like, it seems traumatic, but I don't.
What if she had a traumatic experience with a box in this life? Is that possible?
Why did I say that about the box?
Because she's really claustrophobic, and you're like, Mom, I think in a past life you died in a box.
I also have dreams.
It could have.
I have dreams where I have vivid dreams.
Boxes kill over 1 Americans every year.
Boxes kill moms. Okay, this is a PSA. Avoid cube-shaped objects at all costs.
Okay, listen, people did fucked up things back in the day. I didn't mean like a box. I just meant like maybe she was buried alive. Maybe she was in ancient Egypt and they put her in a box and they buried her alive.
They're like fuck the sarcophagus. We need to just put her in a cube-shaped box.
Put her in a box.
Put
her in like a Pop-Tart box.
That's a possibility.
Just like miming out of the box. I can't get out. I was gonna say that I also have vivid dreams that I remember where I am getting shot. Okay, I have a fear of getting.
Crazy.
I have a fear of getting shot as well.
That's very specific to you. I mean, I'm sure.
Like I had a dream where
I had a dream. Do you die in the dream?
Yes, I die every time.
Oh, I always heard that you can't die.
I wake up as soon as I get shot.
I think you've been shot in a past life as well. I'm gonna go ahead.
I've had some shitty past lives. Then I've choked to death. I've been shot.
You have.
But there was one dream in particular where I hit this guy's vehicle. And then he takes out his gun and just shoots a shotgun through my window of my car, and I just bleed out in my car seat.
That's a violent dream.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
See, I had a recurring dream of me driving, and I was
and shooting me, because that would be crazy.
I'm the guy in the truck.
Yeah, that would be crazy if you had the same dream, but you saw me from behind hitting your car. And then
they say that people reincarnate together, like you reincarnate with the same 200 souls. Anyway, I have had a dream where I'm driving and I just can't, my brake isn't working. It's working, but so, slightly. So I'm, slamming on the brakes and I'm stopping, just before I hit the car in front of me every time, over and over and over.
That's what you do in real life.
I know.
Anyway. You're not a good driver. Just throwing it out there.
I thought about this. I'm like, maybe it's either a metaphor for I feel like my life is out of control and I'm living on the edge, or I'm just I have anxiety about driving and I'm a little bit of a crazy driver and it's coming out of my dream. But I do think that dreams mean something. That's why I'm have you had a dream where you are oh, this could mean something, maybe this is going on in my life and this is how it's coming out in the dream.
Yeah, I've had, I'd say more recently I've had stuff where it was a sign that I needed to make a change in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Through a dream?
Yeah. Yeah, more just the persistence and consistency of a reoccurring dream. It was
Can you share it?
Basically just that I should get out of my last relationship.
Interesting.
Was if I'm dreaming about this a lot, it's probably a sign.
Yeah.
Was he in the relationship, or was it, in the dream, or was it someone else and you're just evaluating the dream?
It was a combination of things. Yeah, he was usually in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's your mind telling you.
Yeah,
I really think it was, because I was kind of putting it out of my brain for so long, pretending that it didn't exist and that everything was fine, and then
If it's not farcical, like it's a real thing that's happening, and I just use the word farcical because it sounds phenomenal.
What does
in the
that
microphone.
mean?
Fake.
Oh, like a farce.
Fake.
Okay.
Fake news. Okay.
I'm smart. I promise.
If it's a real life thing that pertains to your actual day-to-day life, then you can definitely look into your dreams and act on them.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
My parents, when they first had my brother, they lived on a really busy street that overlooked the water. It was really beautiful, but the street was super busy and the cars go really fast. They didn't have like a yard and all that stuff because it was on a big hill. And they loved the house because it was so nice having the water view. But then one night my mom had a dream that my brother like got out into the street and got hit by a car.
Ooh.
And she said immediately they started looking at houses, in like a more suburban.
Interesting.
Just
typical,
from her dream.
Yeah, just from that dream. Yeah.
See, I feel like that's
People
an
do make
overreaction.
life
though.
changes.
I feel like that's a bit of an overreaction because that's not something. Whereas your relationship dreams were about things that had previously actually happened and were currently affecting you. This was more of a premonition, which I don't 100% believe in.
But I don't think it's like she wasn't even thinking about it until she had the dream. I think she was scared of it and was like, I'd like my kids to have a yard and a level street where they can ride their bikes to their friends' houses and walk around.
And in the dream,
and
the
then
fear
she had the dream, and it was like, oh my God, if that were to ever happen.
Of course.
And
nightmare.
then she was like, we gotta move.
I mean, I personally think that you can kind of have like a premonition of like that was a possibility that could have happened.
Yeah.
And her subconscious just played it out for her, and she was like, look, I'm not willing to risk this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just.
I'm choosing a different path.
Which I think is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say it's like overreacting or whatever, but like if God forbid if something happened and she had this dream, like, kind of like a warning beforehand and she didn't do anything, she would feel terrible.
That's very true. It's like, I had a dream that my son got out into the street and I thought, maybe we should move, but then we just didn't.
Yeah, because that's weird. Dreams don't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like
I don't think the dream is no one would blame her for not moving just because she had a dream.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying like she messed it or she's, I'm just saying like.
But she might, obviously she might kick herself for not acting on her dream. That's just the natural thing to do. But I feel like no one would blame her for not acting on it just because it was a dream that she had. You know what I mean?
Well, she could just not tell anybody about the dream.
Yeah.
Just keep it her little secret.
Keep it a secret.
Maybe we'll dream about our podcast tonight.
Doubt it.
Maybe we'll have a premonition.
Premonition.
Maybe we'll have an impregnation.
Yeah. I was watching a documentary on Netflix called, it's that new one, Surviving Death.
Is that the one that you and I watched?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have an episode about like near-death experiences, past lives, or whatever. But the doctor that is in a lot of the episodes, like he studies like children who remember past lives and like he's like dedicated his life to this, and there's so many people that have like data and stuff and
yeah, but there are also people that have dedicated their lives to proving the earth is flat.
Do they dedicate their lives to it?
Yes, flat earthers, look them up. They're obsessed.
There are people who dedicate their lives to the Mandela effect. And
but do they dedicate their lives to it?
Yeah.
Like people are.
I'm sure there's someone who's dedicating their life.
Remember that thing?
Yeah, I'm sure
someone out there is like, I must figure out the
that's not a
Mandela
person.
effect.
No, I think their life revolves around the people who are really into
Mandela
it.
was killed.
Okay, but actually, I think that was in one of the episodes, and they had like conferences about it and stuff.
Yeah.
But those are people that don't have like credentials. Like, I'm saying there's like doctors and people that have like academic people.
It's easy to slap the word doctor in front of someone's name. I'm just saying, okay?
So that doesn't hold any value?
I'm Dr. Layne Wyman, okay?
You're not.
I am now. I decided I am.
Like, I think we're capable of discussing it as people that aren't like doctors of the subject, but I mean, doctor doesn't mean anything to you? Like, wouldn't you rather have a surgery done by a doctor than someone that just says, I can do this, or I'm interested in this?
It depends on the field of study.
Fair.
It depends. Like, some fields of study, the word doctor is way more prestigious than others.
Yeah, like dentistry. And
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I have a lot of respect for our dentist fans out there. Okay.
And
Ashley's an
chiropractors.
anti-dentite.
That's from Seinfeld, isn't it?
Anti-dentite.
Anti-dentite.
Yep.
I'm an anti-chiro too.
I'm kind of anti-chiro.
I'm not anti anyone, okay? Everyone deserves a chance, but all I'm saying is that certain doctors are definitely more prestigious than others. I think there was a professor at my school, I'm not going to name it, well, I will, Layne, who...
We call him Layne when he comes out with his big words and his...
farcical.
He is
Tulane's a great school, guys. Okay,
it is.
Not going to deny
No, it is.
Look, the proof is in the pudding.
That's why you're Layne.
That's why you're Layne.
Anyway, there was a professor at Tulane where I believe he had a theory that he could bring dead people back to life. It was like a zombie theory, and
what did he teach?
Like some sort of science class. It was like a biology or physics class or something, or chemistry or one of those sciences. And he was known for being the guy who thought that he could make zombies happen. So in that case, I'd have to deduct points from his doctorate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't truly believe that that's possible.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think any sane person would.
What was he like?
And I'm not positive that this is the case, but I had heard through the grapevine that there was a professor whose main thesis was on zombies.
Really?
Yeah, like
how does that get by?
Like zombies in the sense that like how long was the person dead for?
I'm not sure. I didn't really dig deeper on this matter because I
Okay.
thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, there's been weird cases in the near-death experience, like episode where she said that she was like without oxygen for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but she was revived, and
she lost a lot of brain cells.
Is that a zombie though? What's the definition
yeah,
of
like
a zombie?
yeah,
I think a zombie is someone who was dead for a significant period of time and was brought back to life.
Well,
But
remember
they're not
when?
fully alive. There's something wrong with them.
Well, remember that whole thing about Walt Disney being like frozen,
Yes.
and then like
Yeah, I was obsessed with
Yeah.
that as a kid.
Apparently
Like,
he's
isn't
buried
that
under
kind of
apparently he's
technically
buried
wrong?
under Pirates of the Caribbean. Did you guys know that?
The ride?
They say that there's like this myth that
sounds like a conspiracy theory.
he's buried under the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland.
How much
That's like
energy
the
do you
worst
think?
ride you could be buried under.
How much energy
Imagine
do you
like
think
he's
it takes
hearing
to
everything.
keep,
Yo ho,
to
pirates
keep him
life for me.
frozen?
I don't think he was
He's
buried
he's
there. Come on.
cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, but see, like, why did he do that? I think maybe he believes in this teacher's theory of whatever, that you could revive a body if it's preserved. I don't know. There's so many
Pretty
theories.
sure Walt Disney was an anti-Semite, wasn't
Correct. Yeah.
he? Yeah,
pretty
I think
sure.
he's just hoping that there will be no more Jews when he wakes up.
Oh my God! When he
I'm
wakes
I'm
up.
a Jew, so I'm telling you right now that's not going to be the case, Walt. We're expanding our ground.
Layne just wanted an excuse to tell everyone that he's Jewish.
No. I just wanted to make sure that my fellow Jews understand that you got some constituency at this table here.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's the thing. He's not the only person that's frozen, right?
I think there are a couple others. He's like the most famous though,
Yeah.
at least that I know of.
And so, like, what did he know that we don't know? Like, he's obviously a person with power and access and stuff. It just makes you think, like, why did he choose?
Did he even do that though? Is that even the truth?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
Honestly,
even know if it's true.
We need
be
to
honest.
fact check this.
Let's ask
Yeah.
Dr. Brian Weiss. I think he would know.
He would know. He went to Yale.
Has anyone ever done drugs and had crazy dreams here?
I don't think I have. If I
No.
did, I don't remember.
We did. Yeah, no. I mean, well, the craziest drug I've ever done is mushrooms. And I don't remember having like any dreams. I can't imagine Layne on drugs.
You don't want to see me on drugs.
Yeah.
But
No,
I just know people will have some weird vivid dreams sometimes when they're on drugs. I personally haven't, but I was just wondering if you guys had.
Did you, when you, like, I know you're not drinking right now per se, but like when you drank alcohol, did you feel like your sleep was different?
Yeah, sleep
Your
deprived for sure.
But
And
dreaming?
just sometimes like bizarre dreams.
Like,
And it'll happen when I eat gluten too.
Oh, really?
Now we live in LA. Gluten gives him bizarre.
I'm allergic to gluten. I don't do GMOs, okay? No, but I'm actually, like, I do have a slight gluten allergy. And I found that when I eat a lot of gluten, like a shitload, if I, like, drink beer or, like, eat a lot of bread, like pizza, sometimes my sleep will be disrupted. And I'll have, like, weird, bizarre, like, almost fever dreams.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you mean fever dreams?
And I've looked this up on Reddit before, and, like, I think I might have found, like, a couple people who've had the same thing. It's, like, some weird phenomenon. But, like, a fever dream is, like, where it's, like, a bizarre dream that you would have, like, as if you had, like, 100 fever, you know?
Whoa.
So I wonder if anyone else has anyone else out there maybe had this happen, because I'd be so interested to chat about it. Like, if you eat something you're allergic to, like gluten or whatever, if you have, like, fever dreams or, like, bizarre thoughts, like, in your sleep, that would be interesting to know.
Now, I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing this, but when you say bizarre, what do you mean? Like, can you give an example?
I'm not uncomfortable saying anything really, but
oh, great.
It's hard to say. It's hard to, like, put into words, if you will. Sometimes, like, bizarre monsters or, like, weird forms. It's very hard to describe. It just doesn't feel grounded in reality at all.
It sounds like an acid trip. Not that I know what.
It kind of feels like you're on drugs, but, like, it's, like, kind of like a bad trip in a way. But, like, a manageable bad trip. It's just, like, uncomfortable.
Gluten.
I guess I think my stomach and my brain are very much connected. And you know that because I get very hangry as well. So
yeah,
I feel like when my stomach's happy, my mental health is good. But if I fuck with my stomach, that there are consequences.
Yeah, I'd say you're very connected to everything you put in your body.
Mm-hmm.
It affects you greatly. Like if you have a sip of caffeine, you're like, whoa. And it's interesting. Like, I can have a ton of caffeine and not, like, it takes, like, a really strong cup of coffee for me to feel jittery and weird.
We're, like, legitimately opposites.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And I pretty much drink caffeinated drinks, like, all day. Coffee, Diet Coke. Diet Coke, crazy. If you want to sponsor this podcast. I know, maybe we should have Diet Coke in our...
The girl loves her DC.
He does love Diet Coke, that's true.
Have you guys ever had a nightmare that was so horrible that you're disgusted with your brain that it could even conjure something like that up?
Well, I had a dream I cheated on Layne, and I felt really weird. I know, I think everyone's had that dream, yeah. But it's like I felt like I felt guilty and I felt weird about it. Like, I had to tell him. Like, if I didn't tell him, I felt like I was, like, keeping a secret from him, you know?
Right.
That's how I felt. I mean, I've had dreams that definitely, like, affect me and make me feel weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, and, like, the whole day you're just like...
You just feel off.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little too bizarre and weird and, like, or scary. But I can't, like, nothing that's so, like, traumatic that I even remember what those dreams were.
They're usually traumatic, like, the whole next day.
And then
you just kind of forget about it.
Again, I think it's hidden in the subconscious. I think we could access and remember it if we're kind of in a, like, meditative state in between. Like, when you're in a meditative state or, like, half asleep, you feel differently. And I think, like, if you focus and it's a practice, then potentially you could access a lot more of, like, what's in your brain. Like, what
There's
you
a lot in
about. Yeah, I think so. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, the fact that you've had, like, an out-of-body experience while dreaming is really interesting to me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, that to me also is kind of proof that it's not just your brain. Like, your brain can't be out there in the hall with your parents, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also in this room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what is that consciousness? What is that?
Yeah, where does it come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you had, like, a traumatic, like, crazy nightmare? that you remember?
Yeah.
Like, do you have recurring dreams?
Yeah, I'd say a recurring one for me. I think this is a common one. That like I'm losing my teeth, that they're like falling out.
I've heard this one
I've heard
before,
that too.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
That means something too.
I've
apparently.
looked it up. It means like a couple different things. I forget what. I haven't had it in a long time.
Probably means something different to everyone.
I also
subjective.
have one where I have people over. I'm having like a party and everybody's downstairs having fun and I can't get dressed. I'm up in my room and for some reason I just can't get myself down to the party to go have fun with everybody.
And you're missing out.
So frustrating. Yeah.
That's
okay. Those kind of dreams.
That just reminded me of dreams that I have where it's usually in the morning when I'm supposed to be somewhere and I like dream that I can't get there. Like I just can't get out of my room. There's something holding me back to like just doing something, getting there, doing it. I get that a lot.
I get false awakenings too. I was telling you about this where I start dreaming, like I have to get up, it's the morning, and I start dreaming that I got out of bed and I'm starting to get ready. And then I think to myself, hang on a second. I think I'm still asleep in that bed. I don't think I'm actually awake. And then all of a sudden I'm like back in the bed and I'm like, oh God, no, like I didn't get up. And it will happen over and over and over again until I fully wake up. It's again getting stuck in that weird in between stage of sleep and wake.
Like I know I'm supposed to be somewhere. Yeah. I know I'm supposed to get up and do something, but no, I'm here sleeping and I can't get up.
And my brain is trying to wake me up and get up and do the things that I need to do and starts doing it. And then all of a sudden it realizes, oh no, my body's still over there.
That's
like I gotta go get my body.
It's so weird. You're very like with the out of body stuff.
Yeah, it's like a lack of communication between the brain and the body.
Wow.
And it's the same thing with the sleepwalking. It's just a lack of communication.
I've had like one sleep paralysis experience, one or two, in my old apartment, like where. And this time, I think I woke up, I couldn't move, I'm screaming, but nothing's coming out in my dream. Yeah. Like, I woke up and I realized I'm in my bed, I'm okay. Like, thank God that was just a dream. But I was, like, dreaming that I was in my bed. Some figure was at the end of my bed in front of my closet. Like, it was just, like, a dark figure, and I was screaming at it. It had a negative energy for me and I was screaming at it like fuck you, get out. Like I was trying to like scream at it like get away, and nothing was coming out. And then I woke up and nothing was there and I was like, oh, horrifying. Thank God I could speak.
Good for you though that you were like fearless enough to scream at it.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm like too scared.
No, I'm like trying. I want to tell it like fuck off, demon.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
You like hold up like this, like a silver cross. Like
I'm like you're not welcome.
You out of this household.
The power of Christ compels you.
The power of Christ compels you. The Conjuring.
That's like what I want. Yeah, like because I don't know if something is there negative. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a demon, whatever. But like there's something in me that's like no, fuck you, get out of here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I.
Fuck a demon.
For real.
Should that be our catchphrase? Fuck a demon.
Fuck a demon.
Fuck a demon.
Sippin Cosmos. Fuck a demon.
It could have another like connotation though.
Fuck yeah.
No, we don't want to promote that. No.
Have sexual intercourse with a demon.
No, don't do it. Because they're so clingy.
Demons are hot.
Honestly, no, it's just you don't want to even get involved.
Stage 5 clinger.
Stage 5 clinger.
Yeah, that's not attractive.
Not at all.
Then they start moving their stuff in.
What kind of stuff?
And then they want to get inside your brain.
They move their stuff in where?
All your parts.
Well, okay, I don't know if this is like completely off topic, but what do you guys think about people that claim to have dreams or experiences while they're sleeping about abduction? Because there's people in the world, thousands of accounts actually, of people that claim to either have dreams of being abducted or maybe they experienced it, but
I believe that they have dreams about it.
Yeah, but
I believe them about that.
Why is that a phenomenon? They all kind of like report a similar thing too, like
abductions,
I was in my bed.
But abductions are a thing that were made up by humans. You know, it's like science fiction. And people have run with it. Someone invented abduction. They're like, oh, a spaceship's gonna come and take you away, and they're gonna do operations on you and experiments on you. Someone made that up, and it's just become a part of folklore, and people buy into it. You know, there's no proof that there has ever been an abduction. No real proof.
Actually, there's some people that have some implants, physical implants that are magnetic, and there's actually a doctor that studies them.
Come on
I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger.
That was the best actually moment. Actually.
Show me the article. I'd like to read it.
I'll show you the documentary.
Show me the documentary.
And we
but
should
also
do some
documentaries can obviously
have an agenda and a bias for sure.
Of course.
For the most part, I agree with Layne, but I will say, were abductions created by humans and someone made that up and then we made it into like a whole fabricated thing that you see on TV and in movies? Or is it like an age-old thing that the first humans actually experienced and then it got told and told? It's like an age-old story, and then over the years it got, you know,
well, I like to think what's more likely.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know because time is an illusion, Layne. So basically,
yeah, well, you know what, Ashley?
Time is an illusion.
You're absolutely right.
Here's the thing.
And we are out of time.
I think that's it. I think we're done here.
Like
Ashley said time is an illusion.
Can I just say one thing about that?
I think we're done here.
You didn't live.
She wins the conversation. It's like the Trump card. Like you're like, time's an illusion. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, can I just say
it's been great.
You didn't live 5,000 years ago. And like, let's say at that time in history on another planet, they had the capability of traveling to Earth, and they came here and they wanted to do some studies on some people.
Why they stop doing it?
Who's to say they stopped?
Because when you travel through space, you're traveling through time, and there's different. It's very complicated.
Accounting has gotten accounting of things and history has gotten way more accurate as time goes on.
Look,
has gotten way more accurate as time goes on. And I haven't seen any accounts of this actually happening.
You guys, like,
in the last 1,000 years.
This has gone off the rails. This is a whole other episode that we're gonna get into about aliens and space and time travel and all that. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. I got us on this track. I'm sorry, because there are people that have dreams of
save
abductions
for another
but
time.
We'll talk about that in the alien episode. In future episodes, we're gonna be looking some stuff up, showing you some videos, getting more interactive. So we're gonna get all that up and running.
And if there's anything you really want us to talk about, let us know, because anything goes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We're open to suggestions.
Anything goes in the cosmos. I like that.
That's right.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Sippin' Cosmos. Yay!
Let's go sip some Cosmos.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Saturday
that sounds
night.
great.